Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from PET Group. Let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Indri Hapsari and my friend.
My name is Rizky Wulandari.
And my name is Cipran Savitri.
And my name is Aura Ramapuriana.
My name is Edi Saputra.
My name is Jabira Rahmania. My name is Alina Bilana juga. Okay, today we are going to explain some of experiment of physics. So let's watch next video. Thank you.
Hello everyone. We find physics theories in the everyday life. For example, when driving a car, we don't feel bumps in the road because in the machine car use the Hooke law theories. So today we learn Hooke law. This is a Hooke law formula and application Hooke law in the PET simulation. Okay, Hooke law, this is a theory physics described between relationship force applied in the elastic material, such as spring, and the chain of length. So this is a Hooke law state F equals to K times delta X. And this is a force applied in the spring. This is in Newton, the symbol is N. And K, this is a constanta spring. This is a symbol M per M. And delta X, this is a displacement of length. This is a symbol M or meters. So according the theories of Hooke law, this is a relationship of force applied in the spring proportional of the displacement of the length. So next, the application Hooke law in the PET simulation. We choose the intro in the PET simulation in the browser. Okay, choose the intro. Okay, this is a website in the laboratory digital of Hooke law. This is a tools. The tools of top right in the box one, applied force. This is a red row, check. And spring force, this is a row, blue row, check. And green arrow is a displacement. And line blue, this is a position and value. So the tool check. Okay, we choose a arrangement series. This is, and this is a spring and the force applied and a force spring in a position, and the bottom of right, this is a spring constant, and bottom left, this is a applied force. We use one experiment, use a spring constant 100 N per M. Okay, and applied force 50 Newton. 50. Okay, 50. So this is a displacement to 0.5 meters. Okay, next, the second experiment. The spring constant is the same, 100 N per M, and the applied force to 60 Newton. Okay, 60 Newton. So displacement to 0.6 meters. Okay, the end of experiment, the spring constant in the same. This is a 100 N per M, and the applied force in the spring to 70 Newton. Okay, 70 Newton. This is a look displacement to 0.7 meters. So, according laboratory digital, this is the grade of force applied in the spring. So, the greater of displacement. So, this is an experiment according of theory of hukum Hooke. Di sini Hooke law. This is a force applied in the spring proportional of the displacement. Okay, that's all. Thank you for attention. See you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Indri Hapsari. Today we are going to study Kepler's laws using path simulation. Okay, as we know, Kepler's laws describe the planet moving around the stars. By visualizing them, we can better understand how planetary orbit works. Okay, let's start the simulation. First, we're going to simulation Kepler's first law. Yeah, let's see the simulation. Kepler's first law states that planet moving around the star in elliptical orbit with the sun at one focus. But in this simulation, the orbit of the planet is nearly circular, but we can change it by adding the eccentricity, so it makes more elliptical. Okay, let's start it. Let's doing this. You can see from the screen that this orbit is more elliptical than before. And then you can see that the planet move around the stars in elliptical orbit, and notice that the sun is not at the center of the orbit, but the sun at one focus of this elliptical orbit. So it proves Kepler's first law about arbitrary planet's orbit. Okay, next is Kepler's second law. Kepler's second law states that the line joining planet and the sun sweep out equal area in equal time. Okay, from this simulation, we have 5 different areas. And then we can see this is areas values and time values. We can show it in the screen. Okay, but in this simulation, we can add the areas into 6 areas. Okay. See, let's see the screen. There are 6 different areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that have different size. And then there is areas values, this one, and this is time values that shows the area values that swept out by planet and the time taken. You can also see there is a graph comparison between the area and period divisions. Okay, let's observe the area values and time values. From the simulation, we know that the planets sweep out equal areas in equal times. When it has different position, different size of the area, it's actually sweep out same equal area at the same time. See that it has same area and has same time. Okay. Next simulation is, let's observe the speed of the planet. Don't forget to from this simulation, we know that if the planet, okay, take a time. See that if planet get closer from the sun, it has, or we call it at perihelion, the planet move much faster. Sorry, the planet move much faster. But when the planets get farther from the sun, the planet move slow down. Okay, this is Kepler's second law, and then we can next to the Kepler's third law. Kepler's third law states that the square of orbital period, or square of t, is inversely proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of its orbit, or a cube of a. We can see the graph in here. Comparison square of t with cube of a. Yeah. It has a comparison value 1. And then we can make two comparison of planet. First, we change it, comparison between T and A. We call it planet A. And it has T 1.84 years and has A 1.5 astronomical unit. And then we can compare it with another planet. We call it planet B, that has another distance. The distance is bigger than planet A. We have C from planet B. T is 4.21. And A is 2.61 astronomical units. From this comparison, we can conclude that when the planets farther from the sun, it makes the orbital period is bigger than before. So it's actually same with the Kepler's third law. I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, all. Today, we are going to learn Ohm's law and how the series circuit and parallel circuit works. We use PET simulation to do our simulation. Okay, there are some part of the simulation. This is the wire, the battery, the light bulb, resistor, switch, and the other. We use dollar bill, paper clip, coin, and the right side we have show current in electrons and in conventional, and labels, and of course values. And there are voltmeter, and ammeter. Voltmeter is used to measure the voltage, and the amperemeter is to be used to measure the currents of the circuit. Okay, first we are going to make a simple circuit. We take the wire here, here, and the voltage in battery here. Here, the wire again in here. For the resistance, we have light bulb here. The wire and the last wire. Okay, we have a simple circuit for the electricity. We checklist the values. Okay. The voltage of the battery is about 9 volt. And the resistance of the light bulb is 10 ohm. So how about the currents of this series circuit? We use the ammeter to measure the current of this circuit. Okay, you can see that everywhere in the circuit have the same current. It's about 0.9 ampere. What we can conclude from this relation, that the current is voltage per resistance. Voltage is about 9 and the resistance is about 10. So the current is about 0.9 ampere. Okay, now we have to investigate how the series circuit and parallel circuit works. Okay, we cut this wire. Okay, we put the other light bulb in here. Okay, this is the simple series circuit. The voltage is 9 volt. The resistance of the series circuit is 10 plus 10. And the current of this series circuit is everywhere is about 0.45 ampere. We use the same formula for this. I equals V per R. Now we will measure the voltage of this circuit. The voltage, we put this right in the positive pole of the battery, and the black one is in the negative pole of the battery. The voltage of the battery is about 9 volt. And how about in this light bulb? in here. Okay, we get the value in the first light bulb that the voltage is about 4.5 volt, and the other one, okay, the other one also 4.5 volt. So the series circuit that the fault final or fault in the battery divided into two parts. Fault in the light bulb 1 plus voltage in the light bulb 2. Okay. Okay, next we are going to construct the parallel circuit. We cut this and okay, take the wire here. Okay, and the wire here. Okay, this is the simple parallel circuit with the two light bulb. The voltage is 9 and the resistance is the current in this circuit is about 1.8 ampere. We use the Ohm's law to investigate the relation between V, R, and I. Now we are going to measure the voltage in the battery. Here we get 9 volt in the first light bulb. We get also 9 volt in the second light bulb. We get also 9 volt. How about the current of this parallel circuit? The currents in here, we get 1.8 ampere. How about in here? Oh, in here is about 0.9 ampere, and in the second one in here 0.9 ampere. So we can conclude that the voltage in the battery is equal to the voltage in the light bulb 1 equals voltage in the light bulb 2. But the current in the parallel circuit is the current in the circuit equals the summary of I in the light bulb 1 plus I in light bulb 2. Okay. That's all the material we are learned today.
Hello everyone, my name is Citrani Savitri. So in this time, we will learn about a density using an interactive simulation from PET. Okay, so we can access the simulation through the PET Colorado website. And in this page, there are three menus. First is introduction, second is compare, and for the last is mystery. But in this time, we will learn about the introduction. Okay, so in this page, there are some description. First is in this side, in this box, contains a density value. So density is a measurement of mass per unit volume of the object. Or we can say that the density is the ratio of mass and the volume. But mathematically, we can written as density or rho is equal to m per t. So rho is for density, m for mass, and t is for volume. Next, in this box is contain the object type and the value of mass and the value of volume. Okay, now look at this. And there is a box and there is a water that have a volume of 100 liters. And then in this side, there are two choices for 1 cube and for 2 cubes. But in this time, we will learn for 1 cube. Okay, so in this simulation, we can choose the various objects that have a different mass and volume, and we can see how its comparison affect density. And we know that the position of object of the liquid is first is in here, floating or float. Second is hovering. And third is sinking or sink. Okay, now let's start the simulation. We will choose the object type and we can change it first. In this side, we can choose for styrofoam. Okay, so the styrofoam has a mass of 0.75 kilograms, and the volume is 5 liters. And the styrofoam have a density is 0.15 kilogram per liters. And we can see that the styrofoam will be floating. We can write here, float. Okay, next, the second simulation, we can change the object type. In here, we can change to wood. So, wood has a mass of 2 kilograms, and the volume is 5 liters. And have the density is 0.4 kilogram per liters. And we can see again that the wood will be floating. Okay, we can write here. Okay, next, we will change the object type again for ice. Okay, so the ice have a mass 4.6 kilogram and the volume is 5 liters and have the density is 0.92. And we can see that the ice is hovering. Okay, we can write here hover. Okay, next simulation, we will change the object type to PVC. Okay, look at this. The PVC has a mass of 7.2 kilograms and the volume is 5 liters. And the density is 1.44 kilogram per liters. And we can see again that PVC will be sink. Okay, we can write here again. Okay, next. We can change the object type again to brick. Okay, so brick has a mass of 10 kilograms and the volume is still 5 liters. And we got the density is 2 kilogram per liters. And we can see again that the bricks will be sinking. Okay, now the last simulation, we change the object type to aluminum. So the aluminum has a mass of 13.5 kilograms and the volume is still 5 liters. And we got the density is 2.7 kilogram per liters. We can see in here that the aluminum will be sinking. Okay, so we already done the simulation. So for the simulation, we know that the object will be float if the density of object is lower than the density of water. So, okay, the density of water is 1 kilogram per liters. So the object will be float if the density is lower than the density of water. And the object will be hover if the density is same as or maybe close to the density of water. And the object will be sinking if the object is greater than the density of water. So we can write here, the object will be float if the density of object is lower than the density of water. And the object will be hovering if the density of object is equal to or maybe close to the density of water. And for the last, the object will be sink if the density of object is greater than the density of water. Okay, so we got this conclusion, and from this formula, we know that the density is directly directly proportional to mass and inverse to volume. Okay, maybe that's all for me. I hope you guys can understand. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Saura Rama Firliana. Today we will try a simple experiment about parabolic motion using PET simulation. So, please prepare your prospective thesis in front of you. First, you can search PET simulation in search engine, PET simulation, and then click it. And then click simulation and select physics. And then you can looking for projectile motion. And then click it. And choose lab. And then double click. And the display will look like this. In the first, I will explain the features on PET simulation about parabolic motion. In the first, this is elevation angle of cannonball. You can adjust the elevation angle from this point until this point. With the minimum angle is 25 degrees, and then maximum angle is 90 degrees. And in this box, you can see in the first, you can choose one object. You can choose one object, including cannonball, tank cell, golf ball, baseball, football, pumpkin, human, piano, and then car. Okay, the next is mass. You can adjust the mass of the object from 1 kilogram until 31 kilogram. You can adjust as you need it. And the next, you can adjust a diameter of the object from 0.1 meter until 1 meter. And then the next is gravity acceleration. In this experiment, we will use general gravity acceleration with 10 meter per second power 2. And then the next is air resistance. In this experiment, we will ignore the air resistance. Okay. So if you can see in this box, this is a meter for measure a distance that the ball dropped off. In the next, in the box is initial speed. You also can set the initial speed as you need it from 0 meter per second until 30 meter per second. And then this feature is for start your experiment. So let's try the experiment about parabolic motion. In this experiment, I will set or adjust a mass, diameter, and then gravitational acceleration are fixed. And then the initial speed or initial acceleration, initial speed or initial velocity are varied. So in this experiment, I will use an elevation angle is 37 degrees. I will note it. Elevation angle is 37 degrees. And then the mass an object, I will choose cannonball with the mass is 5 kilogram. Cannonball with the mass is 5 kilogram. And then the diameter of the object is 0.5 meter. Diameter is 0.5 meter. And the gravitational acceleration is 10 meter per second power 2. So we will see the ball, the cannonball with this value. Okay. The first I will try with first initial speed is 13 meter per second. First initial speed is 30 meter per second, and we will measure the distance of drop ball. Okay, we will try it. Let's see. We will measure with a meter. We got, now you can see the distance. We got 16.33 meters. And then we will try with the second initial speed. We will vary with 15 meter per second. Let's see it. Then we measure the distance. You can see we got the distance is 21.73 meters. And then the last variant of initial speed is 17 meter per second. Let's see the distance. You can see. We will measure again. And we got the distance is 27.82 meters. So, the conclusion of this experiment is that initial velocity given to the ball is directly proportional to the distance traveled by the ball. I think enough, and we can see on the next topic. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Alina Bila Najuba. Today, we will learn pendulum with Pet Colorado. With this simulation, can make us understand how the motion of the pendulum. First, we know this is string and this is an object, and we can call it bob. And in here, we can change length, mass, and gravity. And today we will do practicum to know how variable length, mass, and gravity can affect the motion of the pendulum. First, we can practicum with length. We observe the period if the length is 0.6. And the mass and gravity same. Okay. We know the period is 1.5569 seconds. And if we change the length 0.7, we can know the period is 1.6814. And if we change again 0.8, the period is 1.7971. And if we change again, the length is 0.9, we know the period is 1.9060. And look at this. Change right. So we can make the conclusion the shorter length the shorter period. Nah, For the next, we can change the mass. We keep the length same for 0.6 and we change the mass. For the first, 0.6. Can observe the period is 1.5559. And if we change the mass 0.7 kilograms, the period is same 1.5559. And we change again 0.8. The period same again. And 1 again. Same again. So, no matter the mass, the period same. Always same. This point, this point, this point to this point, same. And the last is we can change the gravity and make the length and the mass same. If the mass 1 kilograms and the length 0.6. And gravity, we start from 10. Look at the period. 1.5414. And if the gravity 9, look at the period. Change right. 1.6255. And when the gravity 8, the period is 1.7245. And the last, if the gravity 7, one 0.8439. Look at the period. Change right. So we can write the less gravity more time. Take it. So today we have three conclusions. First is the shorter length, the shorter period, and second, no matter the mass, the period the same. And the last is the less gravity, the more time take it. So thank you. That's all for me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Zafira Rahmadia Farhani. Today we will learn about temperature and heat using a simulation pad. The first, we search about simulation pad in Google Chrome. This is pad simulation. Shows the first link. And then this is a choose a simulation and choose a physics. The next is search about energy form and change. Enter. Nah, this is just this. Nah, today I will learn about energy form and change. And today we choose a intro. Here I have a simulation application to compare the temperature and heater of liquid using a pad simulation. Before we practice, I will describe of the pads in here. I have two different liquid, and then this is water, and this is olive oil. We have a heater, and we have a thermometer temperature, and this is a energy symbol and link heater. The first step is place the water and olive oil in a heater. Okay. The second step is place the temperature thermometer in water 1 and olive oil 1. And then the third step is a checklist of energy symbol and link heater. Okay. The next step is turn a heater. And then last step is attention of temperature and specific heater. Based on the result of the observation, we found is the temperature change of the two substances is different depending of the type of substance. In this page, we know about oil experience, a heater increase in temperature change than water, and the amount of heat energy absorbed is less of the water, less than water. It means that water does not heat up easily because it has a higher specific heat than oil. Because in principle, the first is the specific heat value. The more heat is used, increase the temperature by 1 derajat Celsius. And the second, the lower the specific heat of an object, the easier it is to increase the temperature of an object. And less heat is needed increase the temperature by 1 derajat Celsius. So it can be concluded that the temperature of oil increase more quickly because the oil has much lower specific heat capacity than water. So enough for today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, that's all for us. We hope that this video is useful for you. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.